guys, MJ here from Nitecore Gear. Today we're going to look at the new Nitecore EDC35, right? How it stacks up against other lights and the key design features that makes this one of the best, if not the best, everyday carry light for most professionals today. Before I begin, if you want to win this latest EDC35 here, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Comment below on if you use this light in your work and why. Right, once we hit 500 likes, I'll pick the one winner and announce them in the description box below. Okay, so let's start with the biggest question first. What is the difference between this EDC35 and the smaller EDC33 that was released just a few months back? Right, the first biggest difference is, of course, size. Right, here's how it looks like. This is the EDC35, this is EDC33. The EDC33 is much smaller because it runs on a 18650 battery. Right, the EDC35 is larger because it runs on a 21700 battery. Bigger battery means higher capacity, which means longer runtime. Right, the difference in battery capacity is about 2000 milliamperes. That means at around 1200 lumens, the EDC33 runs for about 2 hours 30 minutes, while the EDC35 runs almost double at 4 hours 45 minutes. Right, that's on par with the MH12 Pro here, right, which runs 4 hours 30 minutes. So that means that these today are the only two lights in Nitecore's range that can run over 4 hours at 1000 lumens on a single charge. So why does it matter so much? If you really think about it, runtime at usable brightness is what is most important. Too many brands and users out there are focused on how bright lights can go, like 20,000 lumens, 100,000 lumens, but 90% of the time, most of us will be using it at 1000 lumens or less. Right, so for this light to hit that kind of runtime at 1200 lumens, it shows how efficient the circuits are inside. Now that is what is impressive. Okay, the second big difference is brightness. The brightness from low to high, right, are the same. It's the spotlight and floodlight modes that will greatly increase. Spotlight, the EDC33 does 1700 lumens. The EDC35 does 3000 lumens, almost double. Right, floodlight. There you go, floodlight. EDC33 does 4000 lumens. The EDC35 does 5000 lumens. Right, so does the 1000 lumen make a difference in real world? Actually, yes. So here's how it looks like for both floodlights.
Hey guys, so what are the beam shots of the EDC33 here and EDC35? Here's a quick comparison. So this on 33 on the highest mode, non-turbo and non-searchlight mode. So I'm going to compare EDC33, EDC35, EDC33, EDC35. Actually very similar, hardly any differences, right? But the difference comes when you go into the searchlight mode, EDC33, searchlight mode, EDC35. They're much brighter. Okay, how about full turbo, floodlight mode there, EDC33, and floodlight mode for 35, bam, way brighter. So the difference is 3000 lumens for the EDC33 and about 5000 lumens. I think there was a jump for the EDC35. Okay, so very huge difference because of the size.
Everything else, the controls, the lockout switch, right, the charging are all the same. So was it worth making a larger version? Yes, because the design works amazingly well and it bridges the gap between a first-time buyer and a professional user. So here's what I mean. The thing with flashlights today, there are 3 types of beams. If you are new to lights, you might buy the wrong one and it won't be the most efficient for the kind of task you're doing. Right, so this is a flood beam, right, from the P20iX. It lights up everything up close all at once. You can tell from the short reflectors and multiple LEDs. So what's good about this beam? You have no blind spots in the corners. That's why this is popular with law enforcement, where they have to clear room to room in an urban setting. They have no blind spots on the sides. Okay, the bad part is this beam cannot reach far. Okay, to do that, we have spot beams like the P30 here. It lights up targets further away, targets that a flood beam cannot reach. Right, you see the difference in the beam type here, very tight spot here. If you are using this in a room-to-room clearing type scenario, all you have are blind spots all around because like this area here, I can't see. Okay, whereas if I was using the P20iX, I can see everything around the sides as well. Then we have a mixed beam here, like the MH12 Pro. It has a tight hotspot that can reach far, but not as far as the P30. It can also light up corners, but not as much as the P20iX. You might be wondering, aren't there lights that let you change beam types on the fly? Yes, like this zoomable one here. Right, you see the tiny dot there, then you change, and then it goes from spot to flat. Right, this is terrible. This is all over Amazon. A lot of people get scammed by this kind of light. So if you see this, avoid this at all costs. Right, then there are these electronic ones from Ace Beam, which is actually very clever. Right, just double tap. I can go from flat all the way to spot. Right, this is electronic. Okay, it's a bit slow. Right, you realize I have to double tap to get it to change. Or this light from Ace Beam as well, M2, which has 2 beams in one. Right, not the easiest to hold because it is pretty bulky. But what it does is it switches from flat to spot this way. So different brands have tried to address this in different ways, the ability to switch between beam types. But the arrival of the micro LEDs on the EDC33 and EDC35 have changed the game forever. No moving parts, no twisting. It starts as a mixed beam, and then half press you go to spot beam, and full press to go to flat beam. Right, it can do this because it has 9 micro LEDs in one deep reflector. The big one in the middle gives you 3000 lumen spot beam for long distance reach, and the 8 smaller ones around it get you the massive 5000 lumen flat beam, okay, which is this one. Right, all of this was only possible by combining LEDs like this older TM20K here. Right, you can see the deep one in the middle, and then that's for spot, and the surrounding LEDs are all for flat. So if you look and compare side by side, they basically have the same concept. The micro LEDs turn on and off and change the intensity, giving you the type of beam you need exactly when you need it. Right, the solution is so simple, it's actually quite beautiful. Right, this means that if you are buying a light for the first time and you're not sure what beam type you need, just get this, and then you get a good mixed beam for all-round use, and when needed, just turbo for spot, right, and full press for flat. Right, you don't have to worry about getting stuck with the wrong type of beam for the job. How can you access so many things with just one button? So there are no mode switches or complex tail caps like on the SRT7i, for instance. Everything is controlled by how hard you press on the single switch. It's designed to respond to your needs in the moment. So here's how it works. Say you're walking in low mode to scan a new area and want to scan an entire field or warehouse. You can get the 5000 lumen flat by full pressing and holding down one button. Right, once you're done, let go, it goes back to whatever mode you were before. Say you scan a warehouse with a floodlight and you see something moving around in the distance in the corner, you can half press to fire up the 3000 lumen spotlight. Right, see what you need to see. Once you release, it goes back to whatever mode you were before. Right, it also works when the light is off, so you can go from off to search or signal, like say 3 long, 3 short, without any problems using the spotlight or floodlight. Right, you don't have to break grip, right, or twist everything. Everything is still one-handed, so it's perfect for clearing with a weapon in hand. Can you see how the controls fit your intent? If you're calm, half press matches your controlled intent. If you're under stress or an attacker is coming at you, you just need to mash, right? It goes onto full turbo. Right, if you need to warn incoming cars of an accident, you most likely mash hard on the button, like hey stop, right, which will trigger the full 5000 lumens floodlight, which is exactly what you need in critical situations. Right, this whole way of controlling the light, I love it very much. Right, the lights are getting more and more intuitive. But how about the usual brightness levels? It works the same way as any other light. So click on or off, then half press to change brightness. Right, the difference between changing modes and triggering the spotlight is whether or not you keep holding the button down. Right, as soon as you try it for the first time, you understand the difference. It's actually quite simple. Now I must warn you, if you keep pushing the spot and flat beams, it gets incredibly hot, right? Sometimes too hot to even hold because of how densely packed the LEDs are in such a small body. The heat dissipation is not that efficient. This also means holding half press for spotlight mode is tiring over some time. Right, not as effective as having a dedicated searchlight like this, the P30. Don't have to hold it all the time, just turn it on and I'm good to go. Whereas this one I need to keep holding. So if you know you need a spotlight or floodlight in your work, then get the P30 or P20iX. The EDC35 is not a replacement for those lights. It's a mixed beam light that can sit in between. Right, spot, flat, this is where it goes, and it can be pushed either way. But in the past months of using it, I could get by without pushing it to different beams because this is already a mixed beam and it covers what most people need. The most effective way to use the EDC35 or 33 is to use it up to the high mode and only use turbo or spot when absolutely needed. So you see how it cycles from low, medium, high, right, and back down to low again. So stay within these modes and you won't have any problems with overheating. You also enjoy fantastic run times because the massive 6000 milliampere 21700 battery is a first for any Nitecore. Right, you can't even buy this capacity. The highest out now is the 5300 battery, which is what the MH12 Pro comes with. This is what you can buy off the shelf, and that's how it's able to do 4 hours 45 minutes on 1300 lumens and 40 hours on 70 lumens, which is more than enough for up close work around the house or campsite. Some users have commented that, hey, there's no point in having a turbo that overheats in 10 seconds. It's just silly. But then my question back would be, in what situation would you need a 5000 lumen flood for more than 10 seconds? I'm hearing it, it's coming. Search and rescue, right? Maybe. But if you're in that line, then maybe this is not the light for you. Go for a bigger light with better throw and better heat dissipation so you can run it longer. Right, if you think about it, this is an everyday carry light that lets you get the power of a much larger searchlight for a brief moment and then back to normal again. This is that kind of light. It's meant for daily use but has the power to push it when you need it, then back to normal, instead of carrying a gigantic light with you every day. There's no need to keep using the light at full brightness all the time. Right, you wouldn't buy a Tesla and drive it at full speed all the time, right? Exactly. Right, back to battery, similar to MH12 Pro, you can tell the charging status by these battery level indicators here, right? And then it comes on. You can charge via USB-C here under this twisting port cover. The whole thing is metal so it won't break off over time like those rubber flaps on other older lights. This gives a solid weather seal as well, hence the IP68 rating. Is waterproof down to 2 meters, but don't use this for diving. Charging is also incredibly fast, 0 to full in just 3 hours 30 minutes. After that, it can stand by for 12 months. Also note, you can use this light while it's charging, so you're not completely dead in the water if you have a power bank nearby. Now, you can't replace batteries, which was a huge deal breaker for many when the EDC35 was released. Many were upset that they couldn't just bring multiple batteries into the field and then just swap out batteries without charging like the MH12 Pro here. Some clients also told us when the light stops working, it's hard to troubleshoot because they couldn't tell if it was the battery or the built-in charger or the LED or the switch that wasn't working. If it's dead, it's dead. Lights like the MH12 Pro, if it stops working, I can remove the battery, test it with an external charger, or swap out the tail cap to see if that's the problem, right? I have different pieces to troubleshoot. So maintenance over time is a barrier when everything is built in. Right, so this is a key point to consider before you buy this light. Then again, do you need to swap out batteries for a daily carry light that can be recharged in 3 hours and for general use can last about a week without charging? Again, are you trying to force this light into a use case that it wasn't designed for, like the search and rescue example? Right, so if you want to swap batteries, go with the MH12 Pro. Right? If you don't need to do this, right, go with the EDC35. Right? Some clients even own 2 sets of EDC35 that they rotate in and out when needed. So one is always charged and ready to go on their table stand. The one they're using is out, just swap, charge and go. Right? They don't have to deal with downtime. So some might say that, wow, that's pretty overkill. But if you use flashlights as a professional, as part of your work, it becomes a tool. Right? With every essential tool, you need to plan for spares and redundancy. That's why they have 2 lights instead of 1 light and many batteries. So if that 1 light dies, all the batteries become useless anyway. So one of the big reasons so many have bought the EDC33 and 35 is because of the huge rapid lock switch here. Now I know some users prefer lockout, some hate having lockout. Now my take, lockout is important for everyday carry, which is exactly what this light is designed for. Now, how quickly you can lock or unlock your light makes it a good or bad experience. Now look at the Spiras E21 for example. To lock the light, you need to push the tail cap sideways 6 times before it goes into lockout mode. Then to unlock, 3 times, 1, 2, 3, and it's unlocked. If you forget and you do it 6 times, it will lock itself back again. Right, so for the Woburn X3, you have to tap the button 5 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 before it unlocks. T4K, you gotta press, release, press again to hold for the timer to fill up before it locks or unlocks. In an urgent, stressful or emergency situation, do you think you have the time or mental clarity to remember you have to push 3 times, 5 times or 6 times to unlock depending on which brand? No, you just be mashing the button wondering why the damn thing doesn't turn on, right? That's where the new rapid lock switch comes in. Up is locked, down is unlocked. It's that simple, right? Even if you can't remember if the light is locked or not, one look and you know because it shows. The E21, I can't tell if this light is locked or dead, something is damaged because there is no indication. On the X3, at least you have an LED to show you if it's locked or not, same with the T4K. And the best part, once you're done using the light and you want to pack it away, just flip the switch up to lock and that's it. It's locked, right? You don't have to go through any silly lockout process again like every other light on the market today. Another very useful feature is the half lockout mode. To get to it while the light is on, slide the lock up while pressing the tail cap switch. If you are on ops and cannot risk your light turning on during movement, this is the mode I'll leave the light in. Right, so now you can only get spotlight half press and floodlight full press. Once you release, it's off. This way the light cannot turn on accidentally and burn something in my bag or pocket because the button has to be held down. Once I let go, it's off. I still have quick access to spot and flood, right, without having to unlock it. It's still on lock mode. It's similar to the daily and tactical modes of other lights like the P20 and also the EDC35, right? You have a half lockout mode and you can still access turbo and strobe. When you're off duty, slide it back down and it works like normal again. That's not all though, they've also added a proximity sensor from the MH12 Pro, so when it's in 1300 lumen, if you detect something in front of it, it will lower the brightness down to 300 lumens to prevent burning. So now you can see it's not burning my hand. Once the obstacle is removed, it will go back up to 1300 lumens. Combined with the rapid lock switch, this light offers incredible power with high levels of safety. As some of you wanted to turn off the sensor in the MH12 Pro because when used in heavy snowfall or when you bring the light up to tinted car windows, the light will dim. So yes, they listen. So now the sensor works only in high mode when nothing is held down. If I'm on searchlight mode and I bring it near to a tinted window, the sensor won't trigger. So if I leave this here, it's going to burn my hand, right? Because it's on full 3000 lumens. Only in high mode, when I bring it up, it will dim. Very clever. When it comes to attachments, it fits all 32mm cones and filters, right? Okay, this is the 2mm cone. It also tail stands nicely as well on a flat surface if you need to. Red filter as well, NFR32. For ways to carry, it does come with a holster like this, but I never use it because the design does not fit my quick access needs for several reasons. First, the flap is too hard to open because the top bump presses against your body or vest, right, depending on how you mount it. Right, then after you get it open, you can't easily pull the light out because there's only like 3mm of finger grip space. I literally can't pull it out now. Okay, there's not enough grip. Okay. A far easier holster to use would be the NTL20 that came with the P20 series. Right, quick access. Look, I can also access the lockout switch below and I can use the light while it's on the holster. This is the NTH20. You can also use the MH12 Pro holster this way. I'll just pop it in. And it's a perfect fit. Both of these will take up less space on your belt than the stock holster. Okay, so it's up to you how you want to run it. You can also just run it with the pocket clip. Here, this is a very solid pocket clip. It's not going to bend or break off. Pro tip on removing the pocket clip if you don't want it. Just push it out from the side like this. And it pops off easily, right? Don't try to yank it out the front. Now do note, without the pocket clip, it does roll across flat surfaces quite easily, right? So it does roll off, tables like this and it drops. It does come with a paracord, which can only be used with the pocket clip. I never used it, but it's there in case you find a use case for it. There you have it, the main reasons why the EDC35 is one of the best everyday carry lights for most professionals today. The 9 micro LEDs, the dual beam, the clever controls, right, rapid lock switch, and the incredible battery capacity. Combined with the proximity sensors, hidden USB charging port, the waterproofing, the EDC35 sets a new standard for professional lights, giving you a true everyday carry light that works on or off duty. So should you buy the EDC35? One key feedback from security and police is there is no instant strobe like the P20iX, and this is used a lot for getting attention and getting their point across quickly. You can't do this with the EDC35, right? I can only have spot or flood access, right? If you do that all night at say an event, it's going to heat up very quickly because it's like 3000 lumens, 3000 lumens. If the person doesn't respond because he thinks it's a high beam from a car flashlight, you have to keep flashing him. Whereas from a real strobe mode like the P20 right? I get hit by this, I gotta, whoa, what was that? So I will turn and I will look. Don't underestimate the usefulness of instant strobe access. It's very, very good. Also, the EDC35 does not pretend to be a dedicated floodlight or a searchlight, right? But instead, it gives you the ability to push it to a flood or search when you need it to. So if you've been in the industry for a while and know exactly what beam type you need, then go for a flood P20IX or a spot P30. For the EDC35, you can't have a low flood beam. Always turbo all the time. Now this might not seem like a deal breaker, but when you're in a situation where you need a floodlight but in low mode like this, then you realize that, oh, I can't get it from the EDC35. I can only get it here. Okay, so this is a deal breaker for some as well. But if those points don't matter and your main concern is lockout safety and long run time, then nothing beats the EDC35. If you want a convenient travel light that fits all solutions, this is perfect. If you want a ready-to-run professional light that can start off your career, this is perfect as well. These are all in stock now at nitecorelights.com/EDC35. If you order direct from us today, you also get a free 500 lumen Nitecore Tiny 2. Right, this is an amazing companion backup light for all the times where you don't need a heavy duty light like this. I only have 30 sets of this available in this combination. Once it's sold out, we won't have this bundle anymore. Once your order is placed, we'll courier everything to your door within a couple of days. Link to order is in the description box below. We do ship worldwide via DHL, and as usual, this comes with our 60-day money-back guarantee and fast free 3-year warranty, so there's no risk at all. That's it. If you'd like to see more videos like this where we help you choose the best lights and gear for your work adventures, subscribe below and I'll see you on the next video. Right, MJ signing out.